What's up, everybody? How's everybody's day going? I hope it's going great. I hope your morning. I hope your morning went well, and I hope that you're flourishing throughout your day. And if you aren't having a good day, I pray and manifest that you have a even better night and a great morning tomorrow. Start off with something beautiful and something positive. Um, so today I want to talk about your childhood since we breaking down letting go. I want to talk about childhood trauma and how that affects us in everyday life, especially if it's unhealed trauma. Um, just me growing up, I had an absent mother, so having an absent mother created a lot of distance when it came to anything really, especially communication, because I've always felt that emotions and the things that I was feeling made me weak. It made me less than, and it never really held uh never had a hold on me. Always would push my emotions to the back of my mind and not even worry about them. And that was a big problem with me because as my siblings, like we would just instead of communicating our emotions, we would just go straight to yelling and fighting and altercation after altercation after altercation, and that put us at a bind, all of us. And like it's like we should damn Oh, we shouldn't be at a point in our life where we're all about to be in our 20s and we're having to mend relationships, even though they're not really significantly that bad, but they're not where they should be. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of the times me and my siblings couldn't communicate without yelling or without shouting or without being spiteful and saying mean things to each other. And it stems from not having a mother. And I see it mostly in me and my brother because we're the youngest out of all seven of us. And my mom left when I was a little girl, like little girl. So I never really got to understand like what femininity was and how I was supposed to express myself. I never really got the attention to like express myself in the ways I was supposed to express myself. And I knew at a young age that I wasn't right how I was. I was right how I was, but I wasn't how I was supposed to be. It was just this feeling of no, get away from me. I don't want anything. I didn't want any handouts. I didn't want anything from anybody. I wanted to get it by myself. That's how it was. Um, my friend, me, my Virgo friend, we were talking today, and we both talked about how like we grew up as survivors, but we still had that babyness to us because we both are the youngest out of our bunch, and it just brought to my attention like a lot of that is just it was from hurt and pain and just not being able to communicate anything that we felt. And it's like when I got older I didn't understand it because it's just like I would steer away from like all types of relationships. I would steer away from different like people that are actually on my side and they're trying to help me. I would steer away from that because I felt like I had to do it by myself. I didn't know how to communicate that I was broken inside as a young girl having to grow up without her mother. I didn't even I hid my period for like 6 months. And when I came out about like my period, me hiding my period, like I got backlash for it. And it's just like I didn't know because I didn't have a mother to talk about this stuff with. I had sisters who were there, but they were absent. They had children and they had their boyfriends and they weren't staying in the house anymore. So it was just me and my older sister, Hannah. And I was scared to say anything about anything because it's the simple fact that I didn't know how to communicate that I was going through certain things and I was going through these changes and I was feeling the way I was feeling because of the simple fact that I didn't have a mother growing up. And it's like when it's a father it's harder to express those things to, even though my father went through those stages with every single one of his daughters. Me, I just didn't know how to even approach that situation. I didn't even know how to approach the situation. I hid it for as long as I could. I hid it. And that was that. And it was extremely overwhelming for me the whole entire time that I was hiding it, because it was scary not being able to have somebody there that you can talk to and get that comfort from. But I still got it from my father. Once he found out that I got my period, he took care of me in the best way possible. And it made me even stronger and strong willed to want to be able to express myself in certain ways. But it still was hard because, like, my dad had to give attention to a lot of things. Like, growing up with a lot of girls, just like when my sisters got boyfriends and stuff, it was so hard for my dad. So it was just like me and my younger brother, we weren't getting that attention. The only time we would get like attention is if the house wasn't cleaned and we were fighting each other. That's the only time we would get actual attention from our father. And not saying that he didn't give us attention, but I'm saying it's just like he had so much other things to deal with as a dad, and it's just like so much pressure on one man. It's just like, dang, like all these girls. My oldest son is out of the house, and then I got a youngest son that I'm. It's hard to even have a relationship with him because I'm taking care of everything else, and it's so hard. It's like when my mom left, my dad left. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. When my mom left, my dad left. And that was the hardest thing to understand growing up. And when I started to face these facts that were happening, it just made me like more overwhelmed. And as I grew up and I was 19, 18, 19, actually 17, I started to realize these shifts happening inside of me, and I just started feeling weird about everything. Like, but going forward, when I was 19 years old, expressing myself was the hardest thing to do, especially because that's when I got into a situationship with somebody that I really like love. And even before that, I had little boyfriends here and there, but like I got my heart broken. Like I was heartbroken. I was like legit heartbroken. Like, that type of love. But it was still love to me. But it wasn't the feeling that I got from when I was 19. Like that love was just a different type of love, and that's what I was talking about, like letting go and things like that. That was a different type of love. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that love taught me to communicate. She taught me to be myself and learn how to say no. And I taught her things, we taught each other things. And it's just like certain things, like I go back to like trauma, childhood shit. Like we both had baggage on our backs. And I was at a point when I met her, it was like I was healing from that stuff, but I wasn't fully healed until the universe put me to the test. And now it's just like I can open up and express myself the way I want to express myself, because it was a heavy burden on my chest for the longest, not being able to express myself. And it's just like, damn, it took you that long sometimes. Like, but I had to learn, like, I had to be gentle. Like, I had to be gentle with myself, because your inner child is so fragile, and it's still getting healed every day. And it's all so much you can just throw at your inner child. Oh, you can't just say you're healed. Let's go on. Let's. No, it's levels to this shit. Like, it's levels to this shit. You can't just force something. It has to come naturally. And now that I'm really like healing through it all, it's like, wow. It's like you're blossoming to somebody that you knew deep down in your soul you would be. But now it's just like hitting me like, yo, Like it's literally like lightning and thunder. No, like legit. It's just it was a brand new. Right now, to me, it feels like it's just brand new beginning for me. Brand new beginning, and I feel so excellent about where my life is going and how it is taken off in the ways that it's taken off because I love me more than I love anybody in anything because and that's not even coming from a selfish POV. That's coming from a self-love POV. You know what I'm saying? You got to love yourself in order to love others, and that's what I do, and that's what I'm doing. I can walk away from a situation like that and I'm like, okay, like I'm just so nonchalant about everything now. It's just like, okay, time to go. Bye-bye. And I don't get hurt over situations anymore cuz I know like it's meant for my highest good. No matter what I do, it's for my highest good. If it wasn't for my highest good, then it wouldn't have happened for me. It wouldn't be in the way that it's formed and how it's supposed to be. So my mom leaving, boom. My dad leaving, boom. That was just like, all right, we about to put you to the test now. We about to see what you about for real. And I stay strong. I didn't fold through the whole entire situation. I folded sometimes because some situations in my life really put me at a bind with myself. It just made me feel like I wasn't shit, even though I knew I was the shit deep down. But I let people make me feel like I wasn't the shit. You're the shit. I'm talking to you. You're the shit. TikTok don't take me down because these people are the shit that I'm talking to. And you know they the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's levels to the shit. And how you get through is how you get through. But don't mask it with alcohol and drugs and things that only temporary stimulate you. Go through that shadow work, do that inner child healing. Do all of that stuff so you can feel the nirvana feeling of peace and happiness genuinely. You know what I'm saying?